A man named Bruce was driving home from work one day when he saw someone walking in the middle of the road. Confused as to what he was doing, Bruce drove up to him and rolled down his window and approached the man. He then discovered that the man was blind and lost and far away from home. Bruce asked him where he lived, and the man replied, "I don't know, sir." Bruce told him to get in the car and proceeded to drive into an SOS center in Stony Hill, which was a half-hour away from where they were at that moment. "So what is your name?" Bruce asked the homeless man. "My name is Troy, sir," he replied. A conversation was flowing until they approached the center. Bruce gave Troy money for dinner, but realized that couldn't be enough. I'll get back to Bruce in a moment, but for now I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I can't tell you how surprised I am to be standing up here and speaking to you all today. Back in my middle school days, this was something I would never dream of doing. My comfort zone was about the size of a tiny grain of sand, and I was not very eager to expand it. So doing a chapel speech was light years outside of that zone. I was never one to participate in anything. I never joined any clubs or sports unless I had to. Everything that my parents forced me to try, I would soon quit. And as for my social life, well, I didn't really have one. I was that shy, weird kid that everyone would just look over. And to be honest, I was completely content being that. But was I really? In grade 8, I was given the amazing opportunity of going on a service trip to Costa Rica. This was the first time I would step out of my own little bubble and try something new, and I loved it. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Since then, I've been continuing to develop my love for service. However, by this time, I was just entering high school, and sharing my devotions and ambitions weren't my main priority. Fitting in was. I never really wanted to be popular, but I just wanted people to stop thinking of me as that shy, weird kid. So I decided to squash down my passion, practically suffocating it. I started to notice how unhappy I was, but I just couldn't understand why. That's when I realized how absurd I was being for hiding something that made me the happiest I had ever been. I started to join clubs and go out and volunteer, do things that I loved, and going so far outside my former comfort zone, I couldn't even see it anymore. I learned so many new things and discovered passions I never knew existed, not only for me, but ones I've discovered from watching other people. I met outstanding people that I never would have had the chance to meet before. I found something I was really passionate about and embraced it, and I've never been happier. Suddenly, I wasn't that shy, weird kid anymore. I was that loud, weird kid, and I couldn't be more proud of it. Even to this day, when I'm scared the world won't understand me, or I'm afraid of sharing something that excites me, I think of this quote by world-renowned poet, playwright, and critic, T.S. Eliot. "It is obvious that we can no more explain a passion to a person who has never experienced it than we can explain light to the blind." Passion is what brought me here today. Passion is what brought me to be service prefect. When I tell someone from outside the Appleby community about my role as service prefect, I end up saying things like, "No, I'm not head of Applebee's customer service," or "Yes, I agree, the cell service at Applebee's sucks." But as I'm explaining to them what service prefect actually is, I also explain to them what service means to me. I've come to learn that the word service means so many different things to so many different people. When I say service, I'm sure a lot of you start to panic as you think of all the service hours you need to collect by the end of the year. To me, service is about helping people in need. And not just through your service co-curricular club or project, but through your everyday life. It's the little things, those random acts of kindness, like holding the door open for someone, or cleaning up trays in the dining hall, sitting with someone who's alone at lunch. That is what service is to me. I feel so strongly about this because there's no way of measuring this kind of service. You can't count the hours you've spent comforting someone who has had a bad day. You can't write picking up trash on your service hours form. And there's no one to sign the form saying you helped clean up after someone who dropped their tray in the dining hall. That is the beauty of these random acts of kindness. There is no reward. People genuinely want to help and do the right thing. Random Acts of Kindness Day was last Friday, and we were all encouraged to share stories of random acts of kindness that we had witnessed. This is a wonderful idea, because as people start to think of these little actions that they had seen, they start to realize just how amazing these acts can be and the impact they have on people, and that they can happen anywhere, at any time. This brings me back to Bruce. Now, even though he's the father to one of my good friends, I've never met Bruce. I don't know him personally, but I can honestly say that he is a role model to me. A lot of people would pretend they never saw Troy walking in the middle of the road and drive past him. Some would even honk at him and tell him to get off the road. Even if they were to approach Troy, not many would offer to drive him to safety or give him money. Bruce is a man like any other. He has a job, a family, a social life, and yet he still found time from his busy life to help someone in need. Driving home from dinner one night, as Bruce and his family were expressing how full they were from their meal, they passed Troy once again. Bruce turned around, picked him up, and led him into the comfort of his own home and made him a home-cooked meal. He's not afraid to help the underdog, no matter what people think. He embodies the qualities in a person that I aspire to be. His small acts have a huge impact on those who suffer, and these acts are driven by passion. Bruce inspires me, and I hope he inspires all of you as well. I hope Bruce inspires you to fight for the underdog, to help those in need in your everyday life, to do something because it's the right thing to do. I hope he inspires you to stay true to yourself and to follow the passion that drives you. What I've learned from my experiences at Appleby is that passion makes you successful in every aspect of your life. Not only gives you the power to find something that you can excel at, but it also helps you become the person you want to be. I found something that I am truly passionate about, and that has shaped me into the person I am today. It helped me step outside of my comfort zone and develop skills that gave me the confidence to be a leader. And I have Appleby to thank for that. Now, to all you middle schoolers, don't take what the school offers you for granted. Sign up for anything and everything. Explore as much as you can while you can. I owe most of my success to this school. When you leave the chapel today, I want each of you to come up to me and share with me what your passion is. To my fellow senior twos, remember, as we all go off on our new adventures, don't be afraid to share your passion, and don't be afraid to look a little ridiculous while doing it. No one can truly feel the same passion as you. No one can reach the same heights you can. It is your passion, not anyone else's, so embrace it. Will y'all please stand and sing hymn 656?